Hi everybody, my name is Adam Meyer. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to talk about Cardano, and we're going to talk about how it went from about $1 to over $2 in about less than a month. So let's get into this. As you can tell, Cardano was sitting at about $1, and as I've mentioned here in this YouTube channel before, I really love Cardano. I love what they're doing for the future. They're similar to Ethereum, but they're going to be more scalable in my opinion from like the research I've done and like what they're saying they can do. But a lot of this movement upwards is basically from the hype of their smart contract release that's going to happen here in less than a month from now, and also Bitcoin on its rally up, which usually drives up all these other coins as well. So that's part of the reason why Cardano is moving higher. With this new smart contract release, we could see this pump up even higher, or it could just be people are buying the hype and then selling the news when it actually does come out. But investing wise, longevity wise, I don't really think personally that you can go wrong with this. Anyways, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you do buy this and then it does work its way down into here on 60 cents, 40 cents, even 20 cents, which we could hit in the future until a lot of the projects actually be built onto Cardano itself, we might not see higher pricing. But it really depends what Bitcoin does as well. If Bitcoin goes higher, then this might go up higher too, because we could still project $3, $4, $5, possibly even $10 here within the next year, depending on what Bitcoin decides to do and the overall market in general. But in the short term, I can bring up some news articles here. Some of these news articles are saying there's a mere 6x would give it the same market cap as Ethereum. He noted forecasting potential gains of several 100% once the smart contract feature goes live, but also they say maybe one day Cardano will 50x, but that's not super likely across the short-term frames considering the market cap. So what he's basically saying is that we might not see a parabolic move that goes way up to $10 right now. We might see over time it will. So that's why investing in a little bit here, a little bit there, buying the dips, that's like part of my strategy to invest long term. And I also do have my short-term portfolio where I do take profits along the way. And that's just like what I've been doing with this, and that can possibly go up over time. So let me explain a little bit about Cardano and the smart contracts and how it's going to work. You can think of it like a highway, kind of like Ethereum. So Ethereum and Cardano are going to be like big major highways in the future in the cryptocurrency market. And what do I mean by highways? I mean, like, let's say there's exits that go off to cities, and those are going to be the different projects. So right now Ethereum has like different projects on there. One of them is Axie Infinity, that game. It runs on the Ethereum blockchain, as well as a bunch of other NFTs that are on Ethereum. Cardano is going to be very, very similar, but it's going to run alongside of Ethereum in like the same kind of way. But Cardano is going to be, seems like it's more government based, more sustainable, like scalability wise, where you can add a lot more in a faster period of time, and it's just newer in that instance. Some things that can go on the Cardano blockchain, there's a lot of finance industries, so a lot of the banks and institutions that can do their financial stuff through the Cardano blockchain. There are some other projects that are already working on building something like that, as well as games that go on there, and also things for, let's say, school education, such as getting degrees for colleges that can go through the blockchain. And it really all depends how they're all going to work together, but over time, that's when it's going to start. So think about investing into the internet when it got started. Like, it takes time for it all to be built. So Google, then it has this, all these different websites over time start getting built on it. That's similar to what might be happening with this. This is a very, very, very early adoption stage, and I'm excited to actually watch this video in the future to see how this actually plays out. Not within the next 2-3 years, but within the next 10, 20, 30 years, I'll look back at this and be like, wow, this was actually amazing, because it's sitting at $2 right now. What if this goes up to, let's say, $30 to $100 to $2,000 in the next 30 years? And I'm just like, wow, that's just crazy, like what happened. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but that's just some prediction. That's the investor's mindset, and there is big potential with this. So another piece of news here, the Biden's infrastructure bill doesn't undermine crypto's bridge to the future. So within one of their meetings, they were talking about cryptocurrencies, and then somebody implemented something, and it could have led to a very, very bad tax implementation within crypto, and they kind of postponed it. And a lot of things are saying within here it might take, let's say, another year, 2-3 years before actually implementation. And that could be good for us, but it could also be bad, because we want to find these institutional investors. So in order for real institutional investment, we need to see regulatory clarity, and this is the first step. So what does that mean? For those of you that don't really know what those are the ones with like the big money that control these markets. They're the ones like the hedge funds and the banks and institutions kind of like that. And they don't really want to get into these crypto markets until they know the actual regulations. How are they going to be taxed? How are they going to be penalized? And what forms do they have to give out? So they don't want to go in throwing billions and billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars within this market. Like, they already have some money, but they're not completely loaded in it, just like they are with stocks. So once they get a certain kind of regulatory clarity, then they will be able to safely put their money in, knowing what they're going to be penalized on and what taxes they have to pay. So once this actually gets put in, like I said, it could be another year, 2, 3 years before we actually get it to go through, before we know what's going to happen. So that might not be till then, until they actually really get into it. So that's either good or it's bad for us. So right now, Bitcoin's sitting at $46,394. We might see it range within the $46,000 to $50,000 range. It depends. We might break back down and start making lower highs, and we could possibly see $20,000 again within next year to the year after. But 2024 and the next Bitcoin halving, we could see a next break higher to go to 100K, 200K, or something like that. But as of right now, we could also see Bitcoin go from 50K to possibly break higher, pull back, and then keep the momentum going up to 60K, 70K, 80K by the end of the year. But as an investor, I'm doing what I have to do to be in it for the long term. I got in between $6,000 and $10,000 on my Bitcoin, and that is kind of like where I'm sitting with most of my investments there. So I'm okay. But for long-term wise, I am looking just for higher projections, up in the $1 million range for Bitcoin within the next 10 to 15 years. This is going to wrap it up for the video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you learned a lot from Cardano and also where the cryptocurrency market can go in the future. Join the chats down below. You can message me on there or follow me on Instagram and message me on there as well. So have a good one, everybody. Take care.